Hey Sneak Peekers, it's Erin here on the red carpet at South by Southwest for Jazz Fest, a New Orleans story.
Let's start right here. There is nothing like playing the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival.
Are you ready?
Nothing in the world.
Welcome to 50 years of Jazz Fest, everybody.
All the best musicians from around the world.
7,000 musicians on 14 stages over 8 days.
Music and sounds and flavors.
The air is thick, not with just humidity. It's thick with culture.
The world's greatest, backyard barbecue.
You can go see 93-year-old Dookie Chase, famous gumbo's ears in your face.
This is the real stuff.
You could have been here, you could have been here.
There is no such thing as separation of culture in New Orleans. It's all blended together.
It's no wonder that jazz was born in this area because the people are so enthusiastic.
New Orleans is nothing without its artists. It's just sinking ground, literally.
After Katrina, we almost lost not only our city, but a way of life.
So how do you begin to rebuild from below zero?
No matter who comes, we have to put on Jazz Fest.
The resurrection of spirit and will to live with great expression.
All the New Orleans party people, now scream!
One of the most beautiful concert experiences I've ever had.
The music was cleansing the city and just showing everything's gonna be all right.
That's why I came here. There's a soul in this city.
Life's to be enjoyed, not endured, and there's a lot of that.
Who came to party?
This can only happen in New Orleans.
That's the magic of the festival.
Happy 50-year Jazz Fest!
We're gonna go out there and jam. We'll see y'all out there tonight.
I wanted to know what inspired you to, create this documentary.
Well, I've been a music fan my whole life. I grew up in a musical family, and Jazz Fest is really a unique kind of festival. It's the first jazz festival. Jazz was created in New Orleans, and a lot of people think, oh, it's just about jazz, but it isn't. That's what I love about it. It's about all kinds of music. It's got rock, it's got gospel, it's got blues, it's got zydeco, it's got Cajun music, it's got rhythms, and on top of that, it's got food. It's got this special food. And you wrap that all up in 8 days of, hearing great music and eating well. I thought I want to do that.
How does it feel, seeing that the Jazz Fest is being recognized in a documentary?
It feels incredible. I mean, for me, I'm a festival maker. I'm not a filmmaker. So I've got all kind of butterflies. It's kind of terrifying. I don't know. But the fact that it's happening at South by Southwest, I mean, you couldn't have a great... And in the first, everything's been virtual. So now people are going to be here. Humans are going to be back, just like they're going to be at the festival. So it's something that's never really happened before, and it's going to bring the festival to a lot of people. The people know the festival's going to go see it, but it's going to bring the festival to a lot of people that have never been to the festival. And it's going to tell them not just about the festival, it's going to tell them about New Orleans, what New Orleans is and what that culture is, and that's what we live for.
I think a lot of people has been waiting a long time to have a documentary about Louisiana music. And now we have the epicenter of Louisiana music, which is Jazz Fest, where all the musicians are. So, I was very happy, and just to be a part of it is like, man, it's a blessing.
That's awesome. So, what's your favorite thing about performing at Jazz Fest, and what does it mean to you?
My favorite thing about performing to Jazz Fest is just the love that you get back from the crowd. That, everybody that's coming to Jazz Fest is coming to hear music of all kind. Nobody's like, everybody wants to go hear gospel, want to listen to the African music, Cajun music, zydeco, blues, funk, R&B, whatever that it is, So just to see music, 600,000 music lovers, is like, oh man, this is awesome.
So who were you most excited to showcase in this documentary?
I was really excited to showcase Earth, Wind, and Fire. Earth, Wind, and Fire, I've been I DJ on the side, and the minute you put September on at a wedding, you've killed it. You know, that's the one song, so I wanted to play that for them. But there were so many greats. You know, Al Green was fantastic, Irma Thomas, you know, and then we had the big groups. We had Pitbull, and we had Miley Cyrus, and Erin Neville, and you know, it was usually, then the crazy ones like Boyfriend and Tank and Nabanga, who I'd never heard of, and then I sat there the whole time and watched them. And blues players like Sonny Landreth. So I couldn't pick a favorite.
Well, I know that you produced a lot of multiple festivals, so I wanted to know how does Jazz Fest stand out from all those other festivals that you produced?
Well, all the other festivals combined aren't as big as Jazz Fest. Jazz Fest, I mean, we have 14 stages going for 7 days, and we have something like 560 bands. It's interesting because people that do concert tours and they do clubs, they have music like every night, you know, a show every week or a tour or something. We only have this 10 days to get what we do, live music, for the whole year. So it's a big yin and a yang, you know, but it pays off. When we get to these 10 days and, you know, we get 450,000 people coming to see 6,000 musicians, it equals the whole year for us.
So what do you want audiences to take away from this documentary?
What I want them to take away from the documentary is just, you know, a new introduction to Zydeco music or Cajun music or the culture within the culture in New Orleans, you know, where this Jazz Fest really came from, how it started and how it grew into this big, huge event for 7 days. And so, I mean, I think, I think a lot of people, once they watch the film and they're going to see everything, from, talking about different parts of all the musicians. I mean, it's just going to be a different respect.
Well, I think it's going to be a number of things. They're going to find out about the festival for sure, what it is, because they shot the 50th anniversary, which is one of the biggest, and they got all aspects of it. They got the crafts, they got the food, and of course they got the music. And then they got the history of the festival and the culture itself. But if you put it all together, I'd like people to come away with the kind of feeling that they get when they go to the festival. And right now, people can use that, you know. People are going to learn a lot. You know, they're going to learn about Cajun music and Zydeco music and gospel music. You know, people that are seeing this don't really know. They've never been to a church to see a gospel choir. So people are going to learn a lot, but overall, it should have the feeling of the festival.
You make me want to go to Jazz Fest right now. You see the lineup? Well, I actually saw it was Erykah Badu, right?
Busta Rhymes, Nelly, who's that first Sunday? Oh, Charlie Wilson, Uncle Charlie Wilson, Frankie Beverly and Mays. We have every year. We have something really special. Ziggy Marley is something I've wanted all my life. Ziggy Marley is doing a show of all Bob Marley. So it'll be a whole Bob Marley come back to life, thing. Yeah. I mean, the festival has just some of everything. Nora Jones is in the jazz tent. Melissa Etheridge is in the blues tent. Randy Newman's in the blues tent. Just stuff is all around. Lionel Richie, the first CeeLo, is doing a tribute to James Brown. Oh yeah, opening for Lionel Richie. Yeah, that's the first day. So the Who, the Foo Fighters, Stevie Nicks. It's some of everything. It's interesting because people, even now after 50 years, they say, well, I'm not that into jazz. So they don't really know what the festival is.
I'm really into jazz, so I think I'll be going. Do you have any advice for any filmmakers, student filmmakers?
Yeah, just keep making movies. Make a little movie. You learn a lot from it. And if you get a job on a movie, always do your best. Make the best coffee because you never know who's watching. And it might take you somewhere else. That's what happened to me. I didn't know somebody was watching, and 5 years later, when he was asked, who do you want to produce this movie? And it was Raiders of the Lost Ark. Steven Spielberg said, let's see if we can get that guy Frank Marshall. I liked how he did things. Guy Frank Marshall. I liked how he